All right, family, what's the vibes? How you guys doing? All right, we're gonna get right into psychology talk. I have a few tips that I wanted to share to you that I came up with during the week. And this, as you know, psychology is one major part of us that we can't take away when it comes to becoming profitable in this career because it's actually a mind game. It's the largest financial markets in the world. And because of the understanding that we garner and we put together, be that can actually become detrimental instead of useful, right? And we see that happen because if we think about it, right, if you go and flip a coin every single day and say head, I will be buying today, tail, I will be selling today, and do that over a long period of time, and you're risking 1% of your account, and when you get one to two you close, and when you lose a trade you come back the next day and do the same thing. If you do that, statistically speaking, and this is a research that's been proven, you would actually be profitable. And this starts to get you to the mindset that there's a lot that you would need to fix with your mind and your psychology when it comes to trading, right? And where you are currently, I'm talking to the inner circle now. Where you are right now is a space where you have enough technicals to make money, and you need a little switch or a little thought in your mindset, in your psychology, to then get to the level that you want to get into. And that's why this call is very important. By far it's the most important thing that we do. And that's why some hours ago I was a bit pissed that no one actually reached out for psychology session, but it's okay. We're going to get into it. We started to talk about some of it yesterday, so that when I just come today, I would just breeze through and we would not spend a lot of time. Again, I would make sure that this video is not too long so that you can get through with it and get to other things. Right. So we're going to do that, and we're going to look at, what the markets might be talking about, just a little bit of review and maybe what we can see in terms of an outlook. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the four G's that affect a trader's business, right? So the first thing that you want to think about is trading is a business. It is a business. It is not a game. It is not a scheme. It is not a side hustle like people want to make it seem. It is a business. And one of the important things about any business is you take care of it like you take care of a child, meaning that you have to pay attention to it every single day, day to day, if you want the business to grow, right? There are so many businesses that fail, but if you're going to have a businesses that thrives, right, it's going to mean that you pay attention to, it on a day-to-day basis. It needs to be intrinsic to your routine. I need to pay attention to my business every single day if I'm really seeking for growth in that business. Right. So it's a business. That's the first thing we want to solidify. So we're talking about four G's that can affect. These are the things that can affect your business as a trader. So you want to pay attention to these things. The first one is greed. Greed, we know this already, right? Greed is over leveraging, greed is over trading, greed is making money and saying, oh, I want price to do more. Greed is seeing, some profits on the table and saying, instead of taking partials, I would wait until that level. Greed is saying, oh, I made $100 today, but I need $300, so I'm going to try and get into another pair to try and complete that. That is greed. Greed is wanting more than you have at a particular time. Greed is not being content with that exact figure, that exact profits that you have made. Greed is biting more than you can chew. Pay attention to greed. Right. And your rules already tell you what to do. So when you have a trade, you're thinking about entry, stop loss, objective. Right. And for your objectives, it is advisable you have partial objective, take profit objective. So a partial objective, you know what to do. To have a proper trade, to have a good trade, is to have a plan for that trade. And the plan for the trade has to be before the trade. It's why it's called the plan. A good tree is one that is being sown into the ground, the one that goes and dies first inside of the soil. That means that it's how the tree pops off is that something is being planted. And that's how you want to think about it. Planted, right? Plan, right? The plan needs to be before the trade. The moment you catch yourself trying to plan the trade inside of the trade, meaning you've already executed and you're now thinking about what to do, you're now second guessing your take profit, you're second guessing your partial levels, then there's a problem. So plan for the trade and you'll be able to eliminate greed, right? The second thing that we're going to look at is girls, right? The second thing we're going to look at is girls and guys. So for the guys, it's going to be girls. For the girls, it's going to be guys, right? One of the ways you game trading is becoming a grandmaster. And a grandmaster has one thing in common, or grandmasters have one thing in common. They possess the incredible ability to focus. And what focus means is no distractions, right? And if that is going to be true, then the opposite sex can be a distraction to you. Now, I'm not saying do not have friends, do not have a significant other, but the moment your lifestyle is chasing girls or chasing guys, then you are distracted. Because there's a whole lot that comes with that. There's a whole lot to keeping up with conversations. You want to have that call. You want to go to that date night. You want to have, this outing. You want to be in that function. There's a whole lot that comes to that. So if you're really going to be a grandmaster at trading, then it's going to mean that you're going to eliminate this particular distraction. And I've found it most common with guys, right? Where girls become, such an obsession that just takes away their focus. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Right. The next thing is gluttony. Now, when we think about gluttony, it's mostly being related to food, but I want to actually just read the meaning of gluttony to you. Just give me 1 minute. So gluttony says by my dictionary here. 1 minute, guys. So gluttony means overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. Now, the reason why I put this with, the 4Gs is one of the things that I've seen traders do is they make a lot of money and they then lose a lot of money. It's like the winning streak is followed by a serious losing streak. And this is something also that has happened to me. And it's the referral of trading. Yes, we can say that, but also it's just overindulgence. It's just, oh, now I want to just have more than I have. And you forget that every single thing in life is a process. Every single thing that you're going to do is a process. It takes time to get to the next level. At some point, Warren Buffett, I think when he was 47 or 49, he was at $67 million. And at 90 years old, he's currently at over $90 billion, or he was at $90 billion. Now, if you think about $67 million to $90 billion, that's a huge leap. But also, that took over 40 years to do. So you want to pay attention to process. And when it comes to gluttony, it doesn't just come in terms of trading. You want to look at how you pay attention to your finances. One of the things you would notice is if you struggle with risk management, if you struggle with over leveraging, you also probably would struggle, or you are obviously struggling, or most probably you're struggling with handling your own finances. You spend money on things that are not useful. You engage in the direct effects, more often than none. You're always trying to buy the things you don't need. You're always, living above your means. And honestly, you don't need it. And when we get to, the mistakes of traders, we're going to really talk about that. Right? Overindulgence to a point of waste, right? You already got money for that day. You already got 2%, you already got 3%. But now you're now looking at the 3% and you're saying, oh, if I lose 0.5%, it doesn't mean anything. It does mean something. That is wasteful. That is being wasteful. That means that trade was not a proper trade plan, right? You just saw it and you're like, oh, you want to make money, but you speak it out loud as, yeah, I'm just risking 0.5%. But in your mind, you really know that you are looking at the profit side of it, not really that you're engaging in an objective trade. Overindulgence to a point of risk. Be careful of that. Gambling is by far, very, very important. You don't want to gamble, right? And you can actually get to gamble. Every time you don't obey your rules, you are gambling. Every time you trade outside of the session, you are gambling. Every time you think about a trade and you're like, I guess it's going to do this, and you take the trade, you are gambling. Every time you can't see a draw on liquidity and you get in and you still try to do something, you just gambled. Gambling is not knowing exactly why you are doing what you are doing, but hoping to see a good result. It's like you're playing sporty. I've never really played sporty before, but I've heard stories of individuals that do that, and it doesn't really end well. Yes, they might have 1 or 2 wins, and you see traders have all of that. The traders high, you make $5,000 off of an over leverage trade, and you think you're a trader, and then blow it all up and more. And then be hoping to make another $10,000 sometime in the future. You don't want to do that to yourself. You can't be profitable by gambling. You can't rush your way to success, especially in trading. It won't happen. Or in any endeavor. The market has a way of taking you back to where you exactly are, regardless of how much you can make. It has that power to do that because it favors only the guys that process properly, that go through the process properly, that respect money, that respect the idea of risk. Do not gamble, guys. Don't stay on the 1 minute and start to look for plays and start to think of, oh, maybe I'll buy here, maybe I'll sell here. Oh, it just took away that other block. Let me close. It hasn't got into your stop loss where you're closing. Oh, okay, now I think it's a sell. So you sell them, then you have 4-5 trades just in one entry. That's gambling. Let's move on. 5 deadly mistakes of a trader, right? Well, we're making it very, very objective so that you can really, really see where you have, issues and really just talk to yourself. One of the things I want you to do after tonight, if you're able to watch the video tonight or whenever you get to watch it, at night or early in the morning when you wake up, you already know exactly where you have issues with, and ask yourself the simple question: do I really, 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 really want profitability for myself as a trader? Do I really want it, or I just desire it because somebody else has it? Do I really, really want to get myself out of this financial rut? And if you ask yourself that question deep enough, you get an answer. The ideas of answers is from questions that you search deeply in your heart, and question comes. Is the exact thing with prayer. When you're praying, you're asking, and you notice that many times when you start to pray and you start to open your heart, you start to see solutions to the things you're already asking for. Right. So we're going to look at 5 deadly mistakes of a trader. One of them is fear of losing money. Fear of losing money. And this fear actually brings you to now becoming a cheap trader. I don't want to use the P word, but you know what it is already, right? A cheap trader, the guy that cannot properly risk, even when his strategy or his model is playing out. Then at the end of the trade starts to complain. Oh, I knew I was going to do that, but I did not take the trade. Oh, I knew I was going to do that, but I went in with 0.01 just to test it. Afraid to trade. Afraid, hesitation, reservation is what it's called. You don't want to get into the play. You don't want to take those trades because now you don't want to lose that money. That's just exactly what it is. And think about what it's called. It is called trading. Trading it's a marketplace where there are buyers and sellers. And every time there's that marketplace, one side has to lose. It's either the guy buying is buying the thing too expensive, or the guy selling is selling it too cheap. So one person loses, one person makes money, right? When you make profits in the marketplace, somebody's really just paying you off of that same trade that they took, but they went in the other direction. That's exactly what is really happening. So the moment you think about it, you start to understand that losses are part of the game. So instead of being afraid of the losses, accept the risk of the trade. And if that risk is $2, then go with it like that. If it's $2 that you can pay mine to, and after you take the trade, you're not bothered if it's a win or a loss, then that's the risk to take. And you build from there. I say it so many times. Slow is fast. Or how do I say it? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Right. Pay attention to the fear of losing money. You won't grow if you won't do that, right? One of the things that will make you successful as a trader is the ability to make money when your opportunities present, and lose less money when you get it wrong, meaning that, oh yes, I got it wrong, but my risk is in place. Oh, I get it right, but I'm doing exactly what my system requires, right? If you're risking 0.5, right, and you're looking at it 1 to 3, you get 1.5%. And when you think about that properly, that's a good trade. Because if you trade $100 prop firm, that is $1,500 at the end of the month, just on one trade. If you do 3 or 4 of that in a month, you are good. You're good. And you can build from there. First, you need to start to see these withdrawals. The moment you start to see these withdrawals, things will change, guys. Things will change. I can't overemphasize this. When that withdrawal hits your bank, it's a whole different feeling. Right? The next one, we're going to 5. 2 says, letting the wrong type of influence over you. This is now very rampant because there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there are all of these platforms where we see, traders. There's one guy disturbing my Snapchat. You see him every single time. Options traders, something. I just skip right now because it's not really, really annoying, right? And it's just showing you profits. It made $7,000 today, $8,000. And you don't know how those things can really, really influence your mind. So guard your heart, guard your heart, guard your heart over, the glamorous things, because many times on the internet, you would not see these guys talk about their losses. I share my losses with you as much as I can so that you understand that it's not all rosy on this end. I let you know exactly the times when I'm going through deep shit so that you know that, no one actually has it together, because no one actually has it together. But the ability of knowing, when you understand that or you know the skill, when you know that you know the skill, you're able to make money even when you're in drawdown. You're able to get yourself out of drawdown. So you're not scared when you're in drawdown. You're not scared when you lose some money. Losing money is part of the game. It's the cost of doing the business. Right? Think about it like that. So do not allow the wrong influence over you. Oh yes, you just bought that car. Oh yes, you just bought that house. Oh yes, a trader, that's not your time yet. Focus on building your equity first. When your equity continually grows, you're able to buy whatever you want. So focus on that. And your equity growing doesn't mean you need to make $500,000 the next month. It means that you make money. Making money is supposed to be paramount over how much I make. I made money, I'm profitable over a trade is way, way, way much better than I made $600,000 today, but the next month you lost $1 million. What the fuck is that? Doesn't make no sense, right? So, number 3 says, having a perfectionist mentality. Kill it. Kill it, guys. It's not here. It's not here. You can work your way up to 90%, and it takes a great deal of work, which I know many of you are going to do, right? But you need to pay attention to the idea that you are not going to 100% get it right. It's just linking to what we just talked about last. You are not going to always get it right. You would take losses. You would take losses. You would miss variables, right? You would see something clear and you do something otherwise. You're going to take a trade and price is going to take your stop loss 1 pip and going to move in the direction. You're going to expect buy side on the particular day. Price is going to move into sell side and later move into buy side still. All of these things will happen. So kill the perfectionist mentality and play the game considering both sides. If and then situations. Oh, if price breaks above this high, then I will be buying this breaker. As far as I don't see a break above this high, as far as I don't see the bodies close above this high, right, I am not trading. So when price does this move here, you look at it and you're like, oh, do I buy this? No, you're not buying that yet because you said, or the model tells you that until there is a close. So now the moment this next candle closes above that, then you're like, oh, okay. Then if you buy this particular candle, the one at 12.15, then you're following your model still. Right. So pay attention to the objectives and just play the game. And just play the game. There's no perfection here. The fourth one is refusing to adapt. There are different market conditions. Start to understand that now. Even in your week, it's like a woman's cycle, right? You have 4 different weeks in a month. And these different weeks have different conditions. So go back into your technicals and understand the conditions for certain things happening. Trump is saying a whole lot that is happening, or there's a whole lot that's happening with Trump that is allowing the market, to act in a certain way. Currently there's an increase in tariffs, and China also then increased their tariff for the US. And all of that is playing on, the stock market. We saw the stock markets crash last week. We saw a lot of momentum again to buy side today. I feel like that crash is only just to build more momentum for buy side, but we're going to talk about that later. But understand that there are conditions. There's if we bring it down to technicals, there is a consolidation, there is a manipulation, right? And put yourself in that adaptive mentality. It's not always going to be trending. So when you start to see that, oh, your trades are failing to get to TP, start to plan shorter trades. Revise yourself into scalp. Oh, this asset class has overextended, which is my asset class. I would go and trade my sub asset class and do the business there. Adapt, guys. Adapt. The market has not been one way all year or one way all of the years that I've been trading 5 years. It's been different market conditions. And some might say, oh, it's been difficult over the years, right? But I would just say that it's just been changing over the years because it's the market. But if you have sound logic behind you, you'll be able to thrive still. Now, there will be times where you consider, expansions. Like I said already earlier this year, we want to see expansions this year because what did we see before September last year? Consolidation. So we saw manipulation going into the end of last year. So we could expect a distribution phase in this year. And if we think about whatever direction it would be, it would mean that, oh, we would see more movements than we did last year. All right. So those are the things you want to pay attention to. Learn to adapt as a trader is so important. And lastly, 5 mistakes of a trader: obsessively complaining or comparing yourself to other traders. Don't do that. Don't do that. We all have different mindsets. We all have different ways it's going to happen for us. Some people are going to get onto it and they're going to see profitability, and that's going to be it until they ever say they're stopping. Some people are going to get into it and they're going to see profitability, and down the line, they'll have to experience this. I think this is more common to, most common, especially in the trading business. It's rarely seen that we just see somebody that just continually makes money, from the start to finish. Rarely. At some point, they're going to have a downtime. At some point, it's going to be challenging. Guys, expect it. At some point, it's going to be challenging. And knowing it already makes you stronger, right? Courage is not that there is no longer fear, but it's that I'm going to move through the fear because I understand the fear now. When you don't understand the fear, it hits you or it pains you more. The gym is where we actually go to cause pain to our body. But because it's a conscious pain, it breeds results. We're not crying after we lift the weights because we willingly, went to do that. But if you decide to be willfully blind, if you decide to let yourself out of the way and just let pain come, because it will come, right? It's going to hurt more. So be ready for it, right? And this is the reason you don't want to compare yourself to other traders. They have different levels of growth. Oh, he just started and he just passed that prop firm. Oh, he just passed the challenge phase. Has he made withdrawals? Think about it. The market, right? The market is designed in such a way that 90% of human beings, right, would have to switch their psychology in some sense with a great deal of work to be able to thrive in it. So yes, it might be working for you in some certain months, in some certain weeks, or working for that other trader. You're seeing him do a lot of things, but you don't really know exactly what anyone is doing in their corner. So because of that, and if you think about it, people really do devious things about money. You might be morally upright, right? But people really do devious things and actually hide behind names like Forex. And it's even now a cliche in the mouth of, millennials that, oh, yeah, he's doing Forex. And when they say that, they're really saying he's probably doing fraud, right? Because people now, say they are doing Forex and really what they are doing is fraud. So you pay attention not to compare yourself to other traders. It can be hard because of, now we don't even ask to be exposed to these things. Like it's just there. Like we just have the information just boom at us. Sorry guys, I was out for a minute. Now we don't ask for it, but you can guard your mind. You can guard your mind. If that trader's, results is influencing your ideas, then one of the things you can mute his account. Remember, you are the one that will make money for yourself. You are the one that will make money for yourself. You are the model. Whatever you're learning that you think you are learning isn't the model, guys. You are actually the model. If you stop working, nothing works. So that you are going to consistently make money, it will mean that you are working. So that person's bias, that person's results really, really might just help you for a short term, right? But it won't carry you long term. So you want to do exactly what you know. And if that is losses or if that is leading to blown accounts, keep at it. Stay there. Stay there. Every trader had that phase where you blow accounts, where you don't get it right, where you're frustrated, where you want to give up, where things are not just happening right. Right? But it's all part of the process. Think about it. A 5 years or 5 years of suffering for 50 years for freedom. That's how I think about it. And it might be more than 5 years. But go and check the stories of individuals that have gone great, that's done great stuff. They spent time. They spent time. Anything extraordinary takes time. Takes time, guys. That prevents defense. Oh, I don't want this to happen. It ends up costing you victory or delaying the victory. You want to play the safe game. Oh, let me get the signal service now. Let me do the nah. Let me do the shortcut. There are no shortcuts here. There's one way, and that way is slow. It's excruciating. It's lethargic. But that is fast. That is smooth. Because you grow. Right? Become a grandmaster. And to become a grandmaster, you need to focus, guys. You need to focus. You need to lock in. You need to lock in. And you won't be able to tell me you're locking in right? If I don't see results. Sometimes I tell myself, oh, yes, I'm locking in, but I look at my results and I'm like, no, I'm not locking in. I'm not locked in. If I'm locked in, then my results should show that. That's exactly what being locked in is. It's not about just shouting, I'm locked in, I'm locked in, I'm doing that, I'm there. It's not about doing. Don't get caught up in the activities. Don't get caught up in, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I did that, I did that. But where are the results? What brings results, guys? Focus. When you're back testing, add extra scrutiny. Be like a bird. Ask for more details. Ask questions. You guys have me. You have access to me. And I'm telling you for real, you have access to a bank of knowledge. So you're not here to do it alone. And that's why all of this is here. And I will still be the one to reach out to you. What is your account doing? How are you doing? Oh, let's jump on a call and all of that. And the last thing I wrote here for my thoughts is never cross your loyal peer. When I mean never cross your loyal peer, don't just hop on another peer because you just took a loss. Oh, I just took a loss on GU, so let me go to gold. No, don't do that. Respect the peer, respect the game, and it will pay you. Respect it. Respect it. Now, if it's already part of the plan, and you can have these peers become brothers. I treat these peers like individuals. The peer I trade the most, I call it my babe. I say, oh yeah, this is the guy I'm dating right now. Okay, I have a side chick who is going to be, another peer, right? But I'm going to introduce both of you so that you know that, oh, this is the guy I trade. And what I'm doing is, oh, I'm going to use more lots on you, my main chick. On this side chick, I would not even trade her when I see some opportunities because she's just a side chick. Right. Only when you're not around do I want to see this guy. Right. Pay attention. Treat them with more respect. Treat that your peer with more respect. Oh, GU is not moving, so you now want to go and trade EU. But EU is not the peer you analyzed. It won't work that way, guys. So I hope that with these points of mind, you guys are able to get to think deeply about this, to get to think deeply about this. And if you get to think deeply about this, your results might be, I don't think this is for me. And that's totally fine. That's totally fine because if you're not willing to play the long game here, right, there's no reason wasting time. There's really no reason wasting time. So if you know that this is not going to work for you because it all looks complicated, it all looks hard, maybe try some other industry. But there's a shocker also. If you really want an extraordinary life, then you have to do the mile. You have to do the work. You have to go through the hurdles. There needs to be a story to be told. There's no extraordinary story that doesn't come with a story, or there's no extraordinary person that doesn't come with a story. And the story is not a rosy story. Right. You're going to work, guys. You're going to work. And if you're with me, you have no choice. We're getting back to the drills by tomorrow, and you get a lot more drills than you've ever gotten staying in this community. And what will they do? They'll just help you grow. Nothing more. If you do them, they'll help you grow. Some of you have stopped watching the videos. The calls you come in late. There's just a lot that's just going on, and it's just showing you're not locked in enough, but you're asking for results. It doesn't come like that. It doesn't. Get the grandmaster mindset, guys. I'll see you in the next call. Bless up, family.